Everybody talks about bands they've fallen in love with, but nobody really talks about the bands they've fallen out of love with. When I say fallen out of love with the band, that doesn't mean, geez, this band is terrible, what was I thinking? This just means I'm not in love with them anymore. I might like them, but I just don't care that much. Before I get into the video, please like and subscribe. That would help me out a bunch. And click the bell notification. It'll let you know whenever I post a new video. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get right into the video. I know I just said I will start, but before I start for real, please comment down below a band you have fallen out of love with. Okay, it's time to jump into the video now. I'm gonna start with the band Alice in Chains. And I've talked about how I'm not really into Alice in Chains as much anymore, hence fallen out of love. I was a humongous super fan. I was like the biggest Lane Staley freaking fan in the world, Jerry Cantrell, everybody. I started posting content on TikTok talking about grunge bands, and my favorite grunge band was Alice in Chains. To this day, my biggest video ever anywhere on any social media platform is an Alice in Chains related TikTok that I did. It's not like I hate Alice in Chains anymore. It's just like I'm not really into the guitar as much, like the way that they play it. It's very metal, and the guitar type of stuff I be listening to now is the fuzzier type of tone, some shoegaze in there. As far as, you know, the members of the band, I still like their personalities, their swag, and just all that. But the music, I'm just talking about the music, it's whatever to me nowadays. The only project I find myself going back to is Jar of Flies, and you know, it's just some acoustic stuff where it's like, it doesn't get old. One of the strong suits of Alice in Chains is obviously the vocal harmony between Jerry Cantrell and Lane Staley, so you cannot really go wrong with that. But I'm just not a super duper fan like that anymore, and you know, it happens. It really does happen. Staying on that kind of grunge side, this is more post-grunge, but I'm talking about the band Days of the New. And looking back, they are talented. They're very acoustic based, which is kind of different compared to everybody else that was, you know, trying to sound like grunge or whatever. So I guess that's what really appealed to me. And I really did love the band at one point. I was just listening to them nonstop. The vocals kind of do remind me of Lane Staley the more I think about it and listen back to the music now. So maybe I was just looking for a different or extensive catalog of Alice in Chains, even though they're two separate bands. But yeah, you know, you have those like phases, I guess, with certain bands where it's like, oh, I really like this band for so long, and then I just get burnt out. A lot of people can relate to that. This is one of those bands where I was just like, man, I am not a fan like that. Yeah, that's all I pretty much have to say about them. I kind of got really burnt out very fast. Let's move on to the band Oasis. And I really was a super duper fan, man. Liam Gallagher, we share the same birthday. How can I not be a fan? But you know, like I said, I don't hate these bands right now. It's not like they're terrible bands. They're just not my taste right now. Maybe they will be down the line, but I really feel like I'm very strong with my feelings, and these are kind of the feelings that I have, true feelings that I have for these bands. I vividly remember, you know, just copying that Liam Gallagher pose, you know, in the shower, singing his fucking songs. Sorry for the little curse word, but yeah, I gotta admit that, man, I was a super duper fan. What can I say? And this kind of goes hand in hand because Oasis inspired by the band The Stone Roses, which is another band that I fell out of love with. And I think I just tied those two bands together because Liam Gallagher was obviously influenced a lot, and I guess Oasis was influenced a lot by The Stone Roses, and you know, the poses and just the utter swag that the lead singers had. So I know they're different bands and they have different sounds, and I Want to Be Adored, classic song, but other than that, fell out of love with both of those bands. I no longer pose like that whenever I sing any Oasis song. I don't even listen to any Oasis anymore. Not that they write bad tunes or anything, obviously they do not. I truly believe that the band doesn't have a ton of great albums. They have like 2 great albums, and then everything else after that is just whatever. That might be a hot take, but I just feel like nothing really came after their first 2 albums that was, you know, memorable. Used to have a bunch of posters in my room of Oasis. Things change, and I definitely do not care that much anymore about Oasis. I remember saying that on a TikTok and someone was like, that's okay, we outgrow Oasis or something like that. I was just like, bruh. That person was right though. I did outgrow, not like they're a childish band to listen to. I won't agree with that, but I just don't love them like that no more. Speaking of, Liam Gallagher, influenced by the Stone Roses, but he was also influenced by John Lennon in the Beatles, and that's the next band on my list. Now, I'm not like Alexa where I'm like, I don't get the Beatles at all. I don't understand the hype. Alexa said that she gets the hype, she just doesn't like them. I understand the hype, legendary for their time, and that's kind of how you gotta look at it and see, they were just inspiring a bunch of people. I get it. But I try to make myself this super duper in loving fan with like John Lennon, the Beatles, Paul McCartney, everybody. I try to be that person and I just wasn't. I guess this is more about how I try to make myself love the Beatles, not falling out of love with them necessarily. So you know what, I'll take it back, but I really tried so hard to just be like, I'm the #1 Beatles fan in the world, and I don't even think they're like terrible or anything. I don't even think like that. I think they influenced a bunch of people. They influenced so many people. I don't even gotta list them, you already know. So I guess that one doesn't count, my bad. I'm totally ruining this video by including a band I didn't fall out of love with, I guess. This next band, for sure though, I did love, like for real. I have a VHS right there. Let me grab that. I'm talking about The Doors. Is it even focusing? I have no idea. I think this was at the same time where I was trying to make myself love the Beatles so much, but I did fall in love with The Doors. They're like, 70s band, and just that Aura by Jim Morrison. I was like, oh dude, I want to dress like this dude, but like my body is not shaped for that whatsoever. I'm a 5'8" humanoid with like a gigantic back and the skinniest legs in the world. Oh my god, Alexa, why are you laughing?
Because you don't look like that.
I look very deformed and just, unproportionate, but you know what? I learned my lesson. I didn't even try to dress like a 70s skinny pants, cool belt, tight shirt. I never really did that, but it would not have worked out one bit. But yeah, other than, trying to be like Jim Morrison and just trying to have that poetry like swag that he had all around. The music was great. Loved it, but I don't listen to that whatsoever, and I don't hate the band. It's just more like, I guess I didn't outgrow it, but I'm not very the biggest fan anymore. And yeah, that's kind of how it goes, man. That's what this video is about. The Doors, another band I just had all over my walls and just trying to be that 70s type of guy, and I was never that 70s type of guy, and I never will be. I know I'm not very entertaining with this video because I should be a little bit more negative, but I really don't hate these bands like that, I don't think they're terrible. I think they're okay, they're good, whatever, but I just don't listen to them at all. I don't think they're in my rotation ever anymore, and it is what it is, man. You just have these phases in your life where it's like, I want to listen to this is who I am. No, it's not who I am, and I found who I am. That pretty much wraps up this video. Bunch of bands I fell out of love with. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I enjoyed. And yeah, who did you fall out of love with? Please like and subscribe. Keep the music alive. These bands should die. No, that's a little dark, but I don't know what to say.
Okay, so when you go for a hug for a girl, do you want their arms over so they're like this and your arms can go around their waist?
Sweep the leg, I catch you, you say Alice in Chains sucks, I push you, I fart on you, you get pink eye, never fucking talk to me again.